So I wanted to show off how the manual A-track system I've set up works. Take a look here. Under the front end, the front passenger wheel is not touching the ground. Hubs are locked, but if we come to it and spin it, it spins free. Both rears are off the ground on blocks, just barely on there. Oh, they're not spinning free because the handbrake is pulled. But front driver wheel here is on the ground. Nothing. So take a look inside. I'll release the handbrake. Hopefully not roll away. Make sure we are in 4 low. We will start it up. So if I put it first gear in 4 low, I don't know where the dog is. Okay, dog's out of the way, I think. Let the clutch out. Take a look, the rear's spinning. This one is going to be, wait, which one was up in the air? The other one's up in the air, so the other one will be spinning. And I have this switch panel here that is the A-track control. So I turn it on, and if I turn on this switch, it'll turn on solenoids blocking flow to the front driver and both rear wheels, meaning if I hold this switch up and press the brake, it will lock the front passenger wheel, and I will get traction and be able to scoot forward. Yeah, so there's that front spinning. Let's see if it works. And the dog's back in the way. So I'm going to hold this switch up, activates my solenoids, a little gas, brake pedal, and we stalled it, but we did scoot right off. Now, all those wheels were spinning, as we just saw. And we've scooted right off the blocks. Now, would it also be enough if I simply press the brake pedal on the front? Maybe. With just a tap of the brake, I gained a whole lot of traction on one wheel and scooted right forward. Alright, we're back again, back on the blocks. We are free spinning. That front wheel's off the ground. This one is on the ground. We're spinning away. 4 low. And if I hop in here, if I just hit the brake, got some weird locking and unlocking in the rear. Nothing. Just stalls it. Does not like it. But again, if we're on here, is that on? Now it's on. If I press up on this switch, we will scoot forward. Back here again. So I'm gonna hit the switch, hit the brake, and what can you watch? I guess watch forward. So I got low gas, hit the switch, brake, and again, I stalled it because I got too much going on. It does torque steer, but those were the blocks I was sitting on. They fell over. The rear is just on a jack, so I think the jack just scooted forward with me. But immediate traction in a way that just pressing the front brake or pressing the brake pedal does not activate it. Alright, and the system behind the manual 8-track is this ABS module. It is stripped down to essentially just be a valve body. These are the output solenoids. I've taken the solenoids off the valve, don't even need those. These are the inputs. They're very simple. You don't need any of the electronics it comes with, just a power wire and a ground. The flow here is from the master cylinder into the ABS body. We have the two master cylinder inputs. This side is the front, so you have a front driver, front passenger. And then these are the rears. Currently, I only have one rear, so it does not actually lock up one rear wheel at a time. But as soon as I run another brake line, I will have independent braking on every wheel. So my demonstration was just for the front. And that works. The switch comes in here. I have 8 wires, but I only need 4 for the mode that I showed. These are the up switches on all 4 switches, the up position. So this one would be up on the front left, front driver. When this switch is powered, it receives 12 volts, it goes to the red wires, and the red wires correspond to 3 of the relays, and those are the 3 relays that are not the front driver. I believe the front driver is relay A, so all the red wires go to B, C, and D, and when B, C, and D turn on, it turns on 3 of these solenoids, which block flow to front passenger and both rear wheels. So when you hit the brake pedal, it's like this line is shut off, this line is shut off, and this line is shut off. So flow can only travel from the master cylinder to this line, which is this wheel. So if this wheel is spinning, essentially you just hit the corresponding switch, which in my mind makes sense. The top left switch would be the front driver. You hit that switch, it powers the other valves, you press the brake pedal, you're scooting along. And that works the same for all the other ones. This would be front passenger, rear driver, rear passenger. Yep. And this other set of wires is for more direct control. This would be down on the switches. So this would be front driver down, corresponds to 1 wire. And that means you're only blocking flow to a single wheel, which is not exactly useful. That means you just got 3-wheel braking. So this is meant to be done in pairs. So you activate, say, the front driver and the rear passenger, and that can lock up the front passenger, rear driver if you're crossed up. So you always use it for a front and a rear. So you can have 2 wheels braking and get yourself out of being crossed up. So you can have 2 wheels braking and get yourself out of being crossed up if the 1 wheel isn't enough. In my mind, holding 1 switch up, pressing the brake pedal, hopefully that works for almost everything. I've not really gotten to test it off-road yet. Other things that have happened with this setup, the brakes are currently terrible. I'm not really sure why. I might have a lot of air in the lines, but it takes a full press, 1 full pump to get much of any action on the brakes. The rears could also be way out of adjustment. And at least on the front brakes, it is extremely effective. If you hold your front driver switch, press the brake, you don't even have to press it that hard, and you can lock up the front wheel while moving forward and squeal along with 1 locked up wheel. My thoughts this would be like as a locker. So if you're traveling off-road and you get a wheel up in the air and you've only got 3-wheel drive or 1-wheel drive, you'd be able to lock up the spinning wheel and move forward. Very, very similar to 8-track, except it won't work unless you do it, and you can do it wrong. Another thing for safety with my setup, a lot of people they don't use momentary switches. They use toggle switches for a setup like this. So they'll switch it on and then they've only got brake on 1 wheel. And I didn't like that at all. I figured I'm gonna end up panicking, letting go of the switch, holding the brake, I'm be sliding backwards with one wheel locked up. So mine are momentary for sure. So why did I choose to do this? I would say because this is a first gen Trooper with the very small axles. There are no locker options. I would love to have a front locker of some kind, especially a selectable locker, but everyone says these are so weak and there's just no availability. So it was kind of either make something like this, weld the front end, or do a solid axle swap. And for me, this is far easier and much cheaper than doing a solid axle swap. There have been some nickel and dime type things. This ABS module was $25 on eBay out of a 97 Camry. This fuse box was $30 at the junkyard out of a, I think it was a Grand Cherokee. The wiring, I just had a bunch of spools of wire, so I'm not going to count that. I found a bunch of ring terminals on the side of the road. This terminal strip I got in a lot of other electronics for $5. The switch over here was kind of expensive. It was a Windows switch, so they charged me like 20 bucks for it at the junkyard. And then I had to run a second brake line, which comes out to like, I think I've got maybe $20 in that.